Well, I'm hoping to host a short video this morning just on some various topics. I actually had some things in mind, and then I got a telephone call near the end of my regular radio program today. And the caller, I think the caller brought up something that a lot of us think about, and that is we're so overwhelmed by he called them the word games people are playing currently in politics and the imagery that they use and how they try to sway people. But we end up in a situation where it doesn't seem like things ever get any better in this country. You think about all those politicians over the years who told you, if you elect me, I'll make sure we bring an end to abortion. And then the person comes back a few years later and says, if you elect me, I'll make sure we bring an end to abortion. And after 40 years of hearing that same politician, you start to scratch your head and realize he or she, they're not doing anything. And that he isn't or she isn't, they're doing nothing on this. They're just telling me what I want to hear. And we continue to reward them with a few more years on the job, and they continue to collect some great benefits out of all of that. But I'm not so sure they really have our best interests in mind. And they must be taking us for a group of, I don't know, that we're stupid, I suppose. I guess that's the view of most people in politics in this day and age. I once read where brain scans of politicians are very similar to the brain scans of sociopaths. True story. True story. I saw the research on all of that. But it's not just the abortion issue. We had a discussion on the program today about guns. And you've got all of these people who are telling you they're pro Second Amendment, and then very little gun legislation seems to get moved any longer. You don't even have any activity. We get all of these judges, new justices on the Supreme Court of the United States, and we're going to be told that they're originalists, that is, strict constructionists. They haven't handled a big gun case in a decade. It's almost as if they're trying to stay away from it, perhaps because deep down in, we've got a lot of people in government who don't want you to have firearms any longer. Why? Well, if you're disarmed, think about how easily they can come in and put down the control grid. We've just given them, since March, a real opportunity to test drive martial law in this country. And everyone out there who says, well, they're not going to get my guns. Well, if you don't have any ammunition to put in those guns, then all you can do is throw them as a weapon. It's kind of like throwing a rock. And if somehow, some way they decided to do all of this, and they told you, well, if you're getting a government benefit, and 50% of the country is, if you don't comply with surrendering your firearms, then you're going to lose your benefits or your rice bowl. They have any number of means they could go about doing this. What frightens me is that if we get the Democrats in control, and if I get a frog in my throat, I apologize. We're in the middle of harvest season here, and so I've been sipping a lot of water trying to keep everything cool. If we get the Democrats in control in both houses in Washington, and then they ended up in the control of the White House as well. I was talking to U.S. Senator Mike Crapo yesterday, and he said they've already got legislation drafted. It's sitting there and waiting for that day. They will simply end the filibuster. They will also step in, and from what I understand, they're ready to add 6 new justices to the Supreme Court. Now, these people will come along, and they will start shredding that Constitution. One of my school teachers back in the 7th grade, John Simon, wonderful man, told me. He once said, the Constitution of the Soviet Union was a much more free constitution, or freer constitution, or more free constitution. Grammar is not my strong suit after being up and awake already today since 2 a.m. But he told me, he said that if you look at their constitution, they've got more liberties than we do. The difference is, culturally, they don't honor those liberties. We do. In other words, they put up a constitution, but it was meaningless. Ours is meaningless if people come along and pull the rug out from under it, and if nobody objects to it. And if you know what they're going to do and you still vote for them come November, then we don't really have any excuses at all now, do we? So I wanted to share some of those thoughts this morning, and I don't mean to be depressing, but some of my callers today, they sound as if they've been deflated by a lot of recent events. They see Nancy Pelosi get away without wearing a mask and going to a salon that no one else can go to. She doesn't get fined, but you would get fined if you were in California and you did the same thing. So again, the elites have one set of rules for themselves, and the rest of us, we're just supposed to have the table scraps. I do want to point out today, if you're questioning the choice of my headgear, I have not been watching any sports. I did spend a lot of money on hats over the years. I've got at least $500 worth of Washington Nationals hats. I'm not watching the Nationals. I probably won't be watching the NFL, but I did put the hat on. I was impressed by what Kirk Cousins said the other day from the Vikings, that he wasn't going to wear any dang mask, and if he died, so be it. Although I'm now told that the press people came in, hammered him, and then the public relations people in the NFL hammered him, and now he's ever so slowly backing away. Not a full retreat like Drew Brees did. Remember when Drew Brees last summer said he was going to stand for the flag because, of course, grandfathers who served in World War II, and then all of a sudden he's now walking around with, with the name of the fellow who was shot in Kenosha on his helmet. That guy is an accused sex offender that was shot by police there. So now Drew Brees, one of the greatest of all time, going to the Hall of Fame, is walking around promoting an accused rapist who could end up being a convicted rapist, promoting that guy on his helmet, which shows you can have great arm strength, but you can have crap for brains. All right, hey, got to run. Look forward to the rest of the day. I got to tell you right now, though, quickly, we've got a likely dual show tomorrow morning on Saturday. This is being recorded on a Friday morning. It's afternoon on the East Coast, but a Friday morning here in the Mountain Zone. And we've got a likely show going up tomorrow between sometime in late morning or early afternoon. It'll be posted along with my business partner, Jake Smith, who's the other half of Boardwalk Potatoes. If you like our videos, please hit subscribe so you can get updates when new videos are posted. Also, please share with your friends and leave any comments in the comment section below. We'd also like to know if there's some topics you'd like us to address. If there are, we'll see if we can't do those. I also want to wish everybody a great Labor Day weekend.